Hey Han, in today's video we're going to be talking to my client who just finished her 12-week coaching program with Dama Unleash. So stay tuned till the end. And while you're at it, remember to like and subscribe. Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us. Sibongile, thank you so much for agreeing to join us in this testimonial. We saw your written one, but we were like, you know what, let's do something different where we can have a quick chat about your journey. You did the 12-week self-mastery coaching program, and we say 12 weeks because it took a little bit longer. It wasn't straight 12 weeks. It almost made me doubt my 1 + 1 from my sub 8 times, But you did complete that. Can you just tell us briefly in terms of the coaching program, what did you achieve? And then we'll get into the details of that with the next questions.
Okay, thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. I think the biggest thing for me that I achieved out of this whole program is just the realization that I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. How things turn out, maybe let me put it that way. I may not be the one that starts certain things in my life, but how I respond to all of those things, I am totally in control. And I think that for me, even though you know it, you hear it, you see it being written down, because we all hear people saying, oh, you're responsible for your destiny, but it never really, sunk in my heart until I went through the program and I realized that in actual fact, I may not have control over what people do or what the environment around me is like, but how I respond to it is totally on me. And that will be the ultimate, it's the ultimate form of responsibility, for your own life.
Fantastic. And that's why we call it the Self-Mastery Coaching Program. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Can you then tell us the before and your afters? What was life like before the 12-week Self-Mastery Coaching Program?
So I think for me, I should stop using the word I think, because I know. I was very scared of being alone with myself, just being with me and be me. For me, that was a really scary time. And just to give you an example, maybe to clarify what I mean by that, I could be sitting by myself, I will have a thought, and I will just push those thoughts out. So I will not be fully present or go through whatever emotion that I'm feeling at that time. I will push it out, especially if it sounded or it felt a bit scary. I'll push it out. If it meant me being, truly present and be me, anything to do with that, I would find a way to push it out. And I think now with the program that I've gone through, I am welcoming all of those emotions that I'm feeling at any given point in time, be it anger, be it peace, be it love, be it joy, be it any emotion, negative or positive. I am welcoming it, and I am trying to understand why I'm feeling that emotion at that moment, and try and diagnose the reasons why I'm feeling like that and how I can overcome it. Because there is truly being present. Otherwise, you go through life, you just, filtering through and just, hoping around, but not necessarily enjoying the full experience of life. So I think for me, after this whole program, I'm welcoming those moments of peace, those moments of being by myself and just listening to myself, listening to my thoughts, because a lot happens in my mind. And sometimes I try and push all of those thoughts away without necessarily understanding why those thoughts are present at that moment. So now I am interrogating those thoughts, I am interrogating those feelings, and try and put them into context as to why they are there, because there's a reason why they are there. And in most cases, because I fear that it could just maybe a negative emotion or a negative thought, and I don't want to associate myself with negative things, I try and wanting to be always on the positive, positive
Good
energy,
vibes,
positive
vibes.
vibes. So when those negative vibes come, I try and push them away, without necessarily understanding why they're there, because there's a reason why they're there. And in most cases, they're there for my good, one way or the other. So I would say for me, that is the biggest change. I'm comfortable now with myself, with my thoughts, good or bad, with my emotions, good or bad. I'm comfortable with them because they are a part of me, whether I like it or not.
Wow, that is profound. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was like I wasn't even there. So being reminded of it, it's really, really good. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
All right. So thinking more specifically about the program itself, what were your biggest highlights from the program in these 12 weeks?
One of the things that you did very well was you were very patient with me. I'm not an easy person. I've always thought I was, but I actually realized that I'm not an easy person. I push back quite a lot, even things that are meant for my good. I pushed back throughout the whole program, especially at the beginning. I found every reason not to do it, even though I had invested in it. But I felt like, no, I shouldn't be doing this. It just didn't feel right. And I think going through the whole program, the highlight for me has been, being comfortable in those uncomfortable moments, and finding comfort in those moments. And allowing the investment in myself, because I had made the investment, but I was pushing it back for whatever reason. It could be, and I'm no psychologist, but a lot of psychologists, they do say that, sometimes when you are so used to forgiving others and giving love to others, you don't want to give the same love and the same attention to yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, that was the biggest, challenge. Giving that attention to myself and saying I deserve that attention, and I think that has been the biggest realization, that I deserve the same amount of love that I give to others. I deserve the same grace that I give others, be it forgiveness, be it just allowing myself to be me. I deserve that, and I am worth it. And I think that has been the biggest realization for me.
That is amazing. Wow, my morning is so great. Thank you so much for sharing that. It sounds like you learned quite a lot. I do have a question that asks what you learned about yourself in this time together.
I had mentioned that I'm not an easy person. I'm very critical of myself, and I am overly accepting of situations. It doesn't matter what situation it is. I am very quick to accept it without necessarily pushing it back and saying, no, this is not for me. So I've always believed that if it comes my way, it is meant to be. But I've realized that, yes, some things, they will come my way, but they're not meant for me. And it's okay for me to push them back and say, no, this I don't accept. Because it's not aligning with the vision that I have for myself, the vision that I have for my life. It's not aligning with my purpose. And just because it's been brought to my doorstep, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good for me. There's this thing that says, c'est la vie, what it is, it will be. That has been me most of my life, where I've like, okay, it's here, it's going to serve its purpose, no need to fight back, just be at peace with it until it goes away. And I think now I'm taking more control of what I allow in my space, and I'm saying, yes, it is in my doorstep, but I don't have to entertain it.
Yeah,
I need to push it back if it does not align with the vision that I have for myself, if it doesn't align with my values, if it doesn't align with who I want to be. Because the whole purpose that I started this program is because I was not happy with my life. I was not happy with certain aspects of my life, and I knew that I needed change. what I didn't know exactly where that change was or what that change was going to look like. But throughout this whole program, I've realized that that change is actually in me. It has always been within me. I just needed something to take it out so that it comes out in the open, that I am fully aware of what it is that I need to change and what steps do I need to take, to change those things. And I think that's what I appreciated about the program, that we did not only just uncover certain aspects about me that were, standing in my way of progress and in my way of growth, but we came up with tools as to how to then move forward. Because it's one thing uncovering the program, but it's another, doing something about it. That action taking, because that was the biggest challenge for me, is that I will sometimes know about things, but the action taking itself was a challenge. And one of the things that we did throughout the program was, the mindfulness, the importance of, we did body scans, how your body is feeling at that time, because your body tells you certain things that you are not aware of. Your body carries your emotions, it carries everything about you. And if you're not mindfully checking how your body is feeling, you are never going to know some of the things that your body is telling you. So for me, that was one of the biggest takeouts of this whole program. But also, I've always loved writing. I always loved writing, and for me, it was just scribbling away my feelings and everything. It really was just one of those things that I've always enjoyed. But now with the program, we channeled it to certain actions. So it wasn't just writing, which is just pouring my emotions out on the paper, but it was pouring those emotions, and then what? What then do we do with those emotions? Because now they're out there on paper, you need to then make sense of them, and you need to then have an action as to what do they mean and what are you going to do about them, moving forward.
Wow. That is incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Absolutely. So it sounds like you are answering all the questions. So the results that you got from this program is really about mastering yourself, understanding where you need to be taking control. Is there anything else that you got as the result when you think about the program? You're like, what? This is specifically the result that I got. Is there anything else?
You've just mentioned a word for me. I don't want to say it's a trigger word, but you've mentioned control. And yeah, I am a control. I don't want to say I'm a control freak, but I love to control situations. And I think for this whole program, that's exactly one of the things that I came up with, that I don't have to control everything. I really don't, because in my trying to control situations, I tend to sometimes then block what should happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, this is getting out of hand. Then I need to find a way of controlling it to be the way that I can cope with or what will make sense to me. And sometimes allowing those things to get out of control is actually a good way, because you may realize that you need to let this one go because it's not going to save you. Let it go. So I've always tried to control situations. I think I would even go to an extent where I'll say I've tried to control people through certain actions, because for me it has always been like, if I can control what you think about me, most importantly, what you think about me, then I'm always going to be in your good books. Because I've controlled that portion, how you receive me or how you see me. And then you come out as being not authentic. Well, the end product will be that you will fall short, because you're going to come to a point where you realize that, but I've tried to control the situation. I've tried to make people think of me in this way, but still things are not happening the way that I think should happen. And it triggers more control until such time as you just can't control everything. So for me, losing control and understanding that it's okay to not control every situation. Some things have to get out of control for you to figure certain things out. So that is one of my biggest lessons, again, that I don't have to control everything. And it's impossible. to control everything, because you are going to be
Wow.
run out. You're going to be out of energy trying to
Yeah.
control every situation, trying to control what people think of you, or how people view you. And yes, I'm still very much about, pleasing people, because that's my biggest challenge. I still want to do good. I still want to please people. I still want people to smile. I still want to see people happy. And those are still part of me. But I just realize that sometimes I can't control it. It will be out of my hands.
Wow. And how painful was that realization?
Having been a people pleaser all my life, trust me. My son said a term yesterday that actually I think I'm going to adopt. So we're talking about how he went to a doctor, a homeopath, just to check on him that he's okay. He's 14, so he's going through puberty and all. So we just wanted to make sure that everything was all good. So the doctor just talking about some of the allergies that he has. So it turns out he's allergic to dairy. So we are like finding out what can he take, maybe soya. And then he says to me, "Oh, mommy, one day I tasted almond." And he says, "Oh, it tastes like sadness." And I was like, okay, that is a term that I'm going to be adopting now. So, that's how, when I think of people pleasing and painful, that it actually tastes like sadness. That's how painful it was. Yeah, so that's one thing that I don't want to lie and say I'm over it. It's been part of my life for the longest time. And I think it will still be part of my life. But I'm realizing that it has some negative impact on my life. As much as I had meant it for good, it has put me in a negative position in most part of my life, because when I don't get the result that I'm expecting to get, it pains me, it hurts me, it brings sadness to my life. When in actual fact, it was impossible for me to expect that I would be able to please anybody and everybody. So yeah,
that is so true and so profound. And yes, almond milk in tea, it does taste like sadness.
yeah.
So I totally get what he is saying. Thank you so much for that, Sibongile. So let's assume that somebody is watching this or listening to you, and they are on the fence about getting into the program. They're asking themselves, "Oh, will it be worth it? The time involved with it." We mentioned that for you it was a little bit outside the 12-week arena. But they are thinking about it, but they're on the fence. Is the cost worth it? Is the time investment worth it? Are the results worth it? What would you say to this person? Why should they sign up for the 12-week program? What would you say to them?
I think the biggest investment we can make is investing in ourselves, investing in our inner peace, investing in yourself. I think that is the most important thing, and we don't really realize how much we are worth it. We want to pour out on other people, we want to do all sorts of things, but we don't pour out to the very important person, which is you, which is me. And I think if that thought has already entered your mind and you are already considering it, it's because there is a need for it. Your mind and your spirit and your emotions and your body, every bit of you is telling you that it needs it. You may be putting stumbling blocks to say, "Oh, I may not have enough money. Can I afford this? Do I have the time?" All of those are just excuses that we make for ourselves, so that we don't invest in ourselves. Because sometimes it's strange to take care of yourself, because we are so used to taking care of others. The thought of you taking care of yourself is like, so daunting. But I can say that once you've done that, I promise you'll thank yourself. Sometimes I don't want to lie and say you'll see the results almost immediately, because our program, it ended, I think we ended a few months ago.
Yeah.
But now, I woke up this morning, you won't believe I woke up this morning, I spent time meditating. And we never even spent a lot of time on meditation. It was something that we've just mentioned, you can try this, we can try that. But all of those things, they sit in your mind until such time as you need them. And right now, that's exactly what I need. When I go to bed, I meditate. I spent at least 15 minutes meditating. I woke up this morning for the first time. This morning, I spent time on meditation. And I don't know, maybe I was meditating so that I come into this program and I'm all aligned. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was great. It really was a great thing for me that I did that, because when I was meditating, one of the things that the lady said, she said, think of the one thing that you want to achieve today. And I remember that the one thing that popped in mind, I was given a name of someone that I need to pray for. And for me, I was like, oh, but it's got nothing to do with me. The lady said I must think of something that I want to achieve, for myself today.
Yeah.
But I was given a name of somebody that I need to pray for. And I was questioning this. No, this cannot be right.
Yeah.
But I decided, no, let's
do it.
What we've been told.
Yeah.
It cannot be about you. It has to be about somebody else. So I just follow. I don't know where it's going to lead, but I'm just saying that certain things that have come out of this program for me, as much as I never paid attention to them then, now they make sense because of the stage of my life where I'm at the moment. And it makes perfect sense that all of the tools and the suggestions that you've given me, they now make sense, that I can now take them out of my toolkit. Now I can make use of them to make my life a little bit easier as I move along.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for really gracing us with your time. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Otherwise, I will let you go get back to your day.
Just for you to trust your journey. Now it's me speaking to you. Trust your journey. You are on the right path. If there were any doubts in your mind about the work that you are doing, about the impact that you're having on others, trust me. Even some of us may be kicking and screaming, on this journey, but it makes sense. And I mean, I kicked and I screamed and I fought. And now, months later after the program, it really makes sense. And I just want to encourage you, if at any moment in time you're feeling that what you're doing maybe doesn't make sense, trust me, it does. It makes an impact it has made an impact on me. And I think I will value this journey for most of my life. Please keep pushing, keep reaching more people, because you are doing a good thing and you are making an impact. Don't cry now.
Okay, thank you so much. That was really, really incredible. I really appreciate your time and your encouragement. I didn't expect that. So thank you so much for that. I really am glad to see that it has worked, especially after so long. When we were not sure. I mean, the kicking and the screaming was like, ooh, will this work?
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that no, it works. So
it does. Okay,
now I know. Even when it doesn't look like it's working in the moment, we know that it's working.
And for me, I don't want to lie. At some point, I was like, okay, we have to go through this. We have to finish this. We have to. But now, this past week, it has just been incredible. I think this past 2 weeks, actually, it's been just great, because I am spending so much time with myself, understanding myself, accepting myself, and just using. Meditation has been like a lifesaver.
Wow. Thank you so much. I am not going to muddy that with any more. She has said it all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.